From ancient Mesopotamia to modern-day rituals, the use of incense has had a profound impact on human culture, spirituality, and daily life. The fragrant smoke of incense has wafted through temples, palaces, and homes as a symbol of reverence, purification, and connection between our realm and the realm of the divine. I welcome you to join me on a journey through time and across cultures as we explore the fascinating history and significance of incense, a timeless and universal language of the senses. It is difficult to pinpoint the first use of incense. However, ornate incense burners have been discovered in ancient Egyptian tombs. It is believed that incense was placed in the tombs to ensure the deceased person's comfort and protection in the afterlife. Frankincense is generally considered the oldest amongst the fragrances. Frankincense use can be dated more than 5,000 years by ancient civilizations in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley. Most incense is derived from the resin of wood and other natural plants with the aim of extracting its fragrance. For example, frankincense is a resin extracted from the boswellia tree, native to the Middle East and North Africa. The resin is extracted from the tree through a process of tapping, where the bark is lightly scraped to release the resin, which is then collected and dried. In ancient times, incense was a luxury item, worth its weight in gold. Incense signified social status, power, and wealth in various cultures, making it a highly valuable commodity. In fact, frankincense was a key commodity on the Silk Road, an ancient network of trade routes connecting the East and the West. Caravans carried incense across hot desert temperatures and through dangerous mountain terrain in order to trade with other cultures. As the demand for incense grew, so did economic and cultural exchange grow between civilizations. The Middle East dominated the incense trade for centuries, and eventually ships began transporting it by sea from the Middle East to the Mediterranean. But why were so many interested in incense? And just what is so special about it? The symbolic meaning of incense varies across cultures and traditions. However, incense generally represents a connection to something greater than ourselves. Incense is mostly connected to the sense of smell. There are many different fragrances of incense, with each one used for its own specific properties. You see, smell is processed in the unconscious mind. This allows for visions and memories to surface without any conscious effort. Incense has been considered a powerful and sacred tool since antiquity. In ancient times, and still today, priests and priestesses held the sacred responsibility of burning incense during rituals and ceremonies. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used incense for medicinal purposes, and his companions followed his example. Incense is believed to ward off evil spirits, aid in spiritual growth and development, and bring blessings from Allah. It is often burned to create a peaceful atmosphere for prayer and meditation. Unani, also known as Unani medicine, is a traditional system of medicine that originated in Greece and was later developed and refined by Arab physicians. It is based on the principles of natural healing and emphasizes the use of natural remedies, such as herbs, minerals, and other substances, to balance the body and to treat various health conditions. In Unani medicine, incense is known as bakur and is used in various ways to purify the air and environment, to balance the humors and temperaments, to treat respiratory issues, to reduce stress and anxiety, and to improve mood and cognitive functions. The fragrant smoke of bakur has long been associated with the spiritual realm. Muslims believe it carries prayers heavenward, making it an integral part of religious ceremonies. Muslims use incense as a form of hospitality to welcome guests and to show respect. Incense is used and gifted during special occasions, such as weddings, holidays, and celebrations. Some incenses made from oud wood price in excess of tens of thousands of dollars. Incense plays a significant role in Christian worship, serving as a sensory reminder of reverence, prayer, and connection with the divine. In fact, incense was being used in Christianity prior to the Bible's compilation. Incense is so important in Christianity that the Bible speaks of 3 magi bringing incense to the baby Jesus in spiritual recognition of his purity, divinity, and in recognizing him as a king. Now, remembering that incense was worth its weight in gold, this can surely be thought of as both an offering and a sacrifice. A Catholic benediction is a religious ritual or ceremony where a person, place, or object is blessed or consecrated by a spiritual leader, typically a priest or a bishop. It involves invoking divine favor, protection, or guidance, and is often accompanied by prayers, specific gestures, and very often the use of incense. The Old Testament of the Bible describes very specific instructions for the creation and utilization of a golden altar of incense. This altar would be used to provide a place for the priest to burn offerings to the Lord. The instructions are so specific that it mentions the exact length, the exact height, the wood for the altar to be crafted from, as well as the decor of the incense altar. Then the text proceeds to explain when the incense offerings should be made and that they should continue to be made throughout the future generation. Psalms 141:2 says that prayers are actually compared to incense as a message to the divine. Now, the New Testament has less references to incense, but it is still mentioned all the same. Revelations 5:8 says that incense is likened to the prayers of the saints. And when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. Most incense used in Christianity is performed in Catholic and Orthodox churches who adhere to the significance of incense in biblical worship, prayer, and ritual. The use of incense in the Americas dates back thousands of years. Indigenous cultures in Mesoamerica used incense in rituals, ceremonies, and daily life, often burning copal resin, palo santo, sage, and other native plants. Incense rituals often involve specific protocols, prayers, and intentions, and they are typically led by spiritual leaders or shamans as offerings to the gods, the ancestors, and to spirits to invoke their presence. Incense smoke is a representation of the element of air. It is used to carry prayers and intentions to the spirits on the wind and is associated with the breath of life, symbolizing the vital force that sustains us. Each culture's practice varies, with specific scents being used for specific purposes. Incense in Mesoamerica was also used in divinatory practices to gain insight into the future, as smoke transports us to other realms and facilitates spiritual journeys. When burned in agricultural rituals, incense was used to ensure fertility, prosperity, and good harvests. Smudging ceremonies with bundles of herbs have been performed to ward off evil spirits, bad luck, and negative energies, as well as aiding in physical and spiritual healing, and to mark important life events like births, weddings, and funerals. Post-colonization brought about some decline in the traditional use of incense in many communities due to forced assimilation and cultural suppression. However, colonization also changed the way incense was used in the land. Spanish and Portuguese colonizers introduced European incense traditions, and African and Caribbean slaves incorporated their own herbs and spices into these spiritual practices, making today's incense traditions in the Americas a reflection of its complex cultural heritage. This video would be extremely lengthy if I discussed the use of incense in all cultures around the world, but it is very difficult to find spaces on earth that do not incorporate a burning ritual or burnt offering into their spiritual practices. As you can see, many of these rituals are performed for similar reasons around the planet. Think you've never done an incense ritual? Well, you can actually thank incense for the development of today's aromatherapy, which uses essential oils for the same therapeutic benefits. So the next time you go to fire up some incense, I encourage you to consider what's on your mind and what's in your heart, because that is the intention you will be setting. To consider the quality of the product you are burning. Surely a chemically heavy or unethically harvested product doesn't carry the same energy as a pure substance. And to remember that just because you don't know doesn't mean it ain't so. Incense has always been considered a sacred tool for healing, purification, and a bridge that connects the physical and the spiritual planes. Everything is connected.